What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Post Credits Podcast, a show where we are lucky enough to talk about movies with you. This is an episode dedicated to talking about Netflix's Frankenstein, written and directed by Guillermo del Toro. Our regular episode posted earlier in the week that was talking about Dracula. So if you've enjoyed that one, then enjoy the other half of the double monster movie release.
Monster double feature, baby.
Monster double feature, baby. Let's just jump right into it. There's no box office, no nothing else. Let's just jump right into it. Gentlemen, let's talk about Frankenstein. Do you know what the Rotten Tomatoes numbers are for
I have
this?
no idea.
Didn't
I
look.
assume it's high though, because like this movie is nominated for a bunch of Oscars.
Yeah.
Which is why we're watching it, by the way.
It is. This is one of our catch-up weeks where we have a couple movies for nominated for Best Picture that we missed during last year, so we're catching up on them now. This is the first of those. Let's talk about the tomato meter, 85. What do you think the popcorn meter is?
Popcorn meter is going to be 93.
Higher than that?
1 point higher, 94.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You're welcome.
And then Metacritic. Do you know the Metacritic?
Oh, I bet it's high.
It's got to be in the 80s, right?
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
72.
You're low.
I mean, I
I'll
said
give you
80.
one guess. Oh, you said 78. Very respectable. Very, very good score.
That's a fine.
When I said 80, and you said no, like I couldn't have been further from the truth.
Well, my Price is Right rules, you're out there.
Yeah.
So
You're giving me a 1% chance to guess this thing, and I don't like the rules of the games that you play.
So you're saying there's a chance. No, but here's the problem for me. And you guys know this. I've said it before on the show the
Already
last couple of
problems? All
weeks.
right.
This isn't better than Sinners, so I already cast that out of my mind. Like, as far as like scoring it goes, it doesn't matter because Sinners is strictly a better movie than this. But let's
what are you
get
gonna do
into
if Sinners doesn't win Best Picture?
Mm-hmm.
it might not.
We're going to do Frankenstein wins Best Picture.
I would be if Frankenstein wins Best Picture, then people have no right to say that Crash 2005 and Green Book from 2018 are the worst nominees, because this is 100% the worst nominee then. If this wins, there will never be anything worse than
I
this.
can't even say that because I haven't watched the other movies yet. So
Green Book's good.
No. But of Green Book and
Green Book
Crash,
is great.
Yeah. Green Book's
people
good.
say that Green Book and Crash are the two that shouldn't
I
have
mean,
been last 100
I
years.
remember when we talked about that on a
Yeah.
previous venture. We were surprised.
We
when
were
Green Book-
you and I were very
but
surprised.
I was very happy because I think Green Book is a great movie.
Yeah,
So
it's a good movie. It really is.
I don't know. So
Best Picture? I mean, apparently yes.
I already don't like. I don't like your take on Frankenstein already, and we're 2 minutes and 47 seconds in. But like, I don't think you should be looking at, in my opinion, I don't look at the movies that it's up against.
No,
at
of
this
course I
point.
shouldn't. Of
It's
course.
the movies that it's the movies that came out and how it got here, right? So does it deserve to be nominated? I think so. I saw a lot of movies last year. I think this is better than most of those movies I saw last year.
I'll give you that. It's better than most.
So
Sure.
I think it being on a Best Picture list makes sense because if you had to pick 10, does this fit in the 10? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, could you have bumped it out for maybe someone's 11th or 12th? Maybe, but this thing fits in the top 10 from my perspective of last year. Now that I've seen it, like this thing's got a lot going for it.
I don't know if I put it in top 10.
Well,
but
so here's something that I think I got going for it is a movie like Frankenstein. It's overall it's a pretty good movie. Like we'll all three agree on that. Whether you think it's the Best Picture winner or not,
Yeah.
fine. That's a discussion for a few weeks. We'll find out who the Best Picture winner is.
True.
Which none of us have a vote on. So yet. So
I'll be
just
there.
saying. This does prove to me though that Netflix is very capable of making a good movie.
Mhm.
And that's hard for them to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they are the let's pump it out. Let's make a movie and let's get it out there. And I think we've bashed Netflix 1,000 times. Everybody has higher level critics than us do it all the time. And like I don't want to do that right now, but I will make just one last point with it is we know you can do things like this. Give us more of these type of things. Now, look, they don't all have to be Oscar winners, but you need more better ones than you need bad ones. That's all I'm saying.
and they're not sitting there right now.
But here's the thing, and this is not just entirely a Netflix problem because we've seen a lot of bad movies.
I was going to say
aren't
Hollywood.
just on
Hollywood
Netflix.
doesn't have the batting average
Sure.
you're looking for out of Netflix.
But
So that's not there either.
Netflix is by far one of the largest studio creators right now.
Yeah.
And they are, it's not their fault. but they do contribute to that more so than most.
Yeah.
Also, stop casting Amy Schumer. You have to stop casting Amy Schumer. You have to just stop. Go on.
Okay, Amy Schumer has nothing to do with
I
Frankenstein.
know.
I just
But-
want to lay that out there. She is not.
She has to do with Netflix, and
Does she?
she's got like
Yes,
a
she
massive contract with Netflix.
So
yeah.
Good for her, I guess.
Well, she's not funny, so
She's getting paid.
I
she
think
is.
I think that it's hard. It's hard to make a good movie, and it's easy to make a bad movie.
Yes.
And I think Netflix is the best example of that. And moving away from the Netflix discussion into Frankenstein at this point, we do have a good movie here,
Yeah.
and I can't see arguments against this movie in ways that would discount it from being considered within the Oscar nominees at this point. I've seen the movie, and now that I've watched this film, I can honestly say whether I enjoyed the movie a lot or not, I can say there's some there's the artistry that the Oscars looks for is here. The direction from a prolific director is here. It hits all the beats that the Oscars wants. You know what I mean? And on top of it, it's a pretty entertaining movie, which is also a plus because we've seen some really unentertaining movies make this list before. So this movie is just kind of all around in a good space for the Oscars. On top of all that, I thought it was a pretty rad movie because say what you want, Best Picture maybe could be the thing that you could argue yes or no against. This thing's an Oscar-nominated movie without being Best Picture for sure because its set design is wildly amazing. Like the way that Frankenstein's castle looks is so good in this movie.
The lab.
The whole thing, man. Like the whole castle, the lab, the cellar, it's all so well done. And it's dark and it's moody and it's depressing and dour. Where it's exactly where you think someone would be a corpse brought to life. It just sucks, and it looks beautiful while it sucks. And I love it.
Okay, so we'll go into the thumbs up, thumbs down in a minute.
Yeah.
But okay, Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz, Felix Kammerer, David Bradley, written directed by Guillermo del Toro, who we generally love.
Also, Guillermo, give me Hellboy 3 and the
You
good
coward.
Pacific Rim.
He said we're never getting Hellboy 3. He's already said that.
I know.
Yeah, he did.
But Ron Perlman said he'd do it.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, Ron!
no,
if Ron Perlman said it,
Very recently, he said
Yep,
that
he
again.
did.
He said, I will put the makeup back on
Yep.
only for
Well,
one reason. If
given-
Guillermo del Toro does it.
given
That's exactly what
we're
he
doing
said.
the 30 years later. See, I mean, I guess it's a possibility, but
Yeah, now's the time.
I mean,
Ron
now's the
Perlman
time.
was like younger.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, give me a proper Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
We could ease up on the Pacific Rim, Guillermo. I prefer a third
No.
Hellboy.
No, because Pacific Rim is the first one was really good. Was fun. I wouldn't say good. It was fun though.
We're canceling the apocalypse.
Exactly.
Idris Elba, thank you very much.
Apocalypse is coming back, though.
Well, I mean, in Terminator Judgment Day came back a couple times, but
Couple.
all right,
I think they're at 7. 7
Fair.
Terminator
Go-
movies.
stop bashing my favorite.
All right, this is for Netflix Frankenstein. If we liked it, thumbs up or thumbs down in 3, 2, 1.
Ugh, I wanted so bad to give it a thumbs down,
Why?
but Chris is right. It's a competently made movie. I think the story is all over the place. I think they waste a lot of time. I think the characters they betray each other. I don't think the motivations are there because if I'd have watched this before the nomination, I'd have been much higher on it. But I watched this after it gotten nominated for 15 things, and I'm watching. I'm like, what? This is what we're nominating? This is trash
You got
compared to what
black-
should be
You
nominated.
got a black and white shirt you can put on
No.
Why?
because this is about to be a movie fight. Is what this is about
Oh,
to be. Because
all right.
I disagree
Hold
with
on.
I disagree with everything you just said.
Well,
Every word that you
maybe
just
not
uttered
trash,
is
but-
absolutely incorrect.
Well, if I ask you the question, do you think they wasted time in the first half of the movie, and you say no, then you're automatically it's wrong because they wasted a ton of time in the first half of the film.
they wasted no time in the first half of the film.
I think they wasted a ton of time in the second half of the film too. Ton of time is wasted. It's all filler. I don't.
Name one thing that was filler in this movie.
The opening on the ice with Oscar Isaac's character with Victor, the getting into the story, the prelude, the first part of the story, the second part of the story. It's just they could have. This is what 220.
You named things that all happened that had purpose
Hold
that
on.
weren't
I'm
a
gonna
waste.
say this is a 220 movie, isn't it? How long is it?
26.
226. This could have been. You could have gotten the same movie with 2 hours and 10 minutes.
I violently
The
disagree.
same movie with 2 hours and 10 minutes.
I disagree.
Well, fine, but let's debate it out.
No.
Man. Let's discuss.
I asked you what was wasted. You said the opening scene,
No, okay. No,
Tell me how those were wasted.
Those per se weren't. It's the time we have setting this up that could be. I'm watching these sequences that if you're presented this to a film professor in college and
we don't do that. We're not film professors.
Yeah, what do you mean?
If you present
all
the
they
first
did was present it to the Academy.
Fine. Just
and it got
guys,
nominated.
if you present this,
You're yelling at a cloud right now, old man.
I'm not. I'm saying someone's going to tell you present this. They're going to say you could cut 6 minutes out of that first 40.
Okay.
Find it, cut it out, and then you'd be like, you'd be able to find it pretty quick. There is stuff you can cut out here. There's a lot of time that is told. Every sequence in a film should tell you something new. Nothing about going back and rehashing. Everything should be something new in a perfect movie. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying it.
Okay, but again, you haven't told me the thing that's wasted.
The setup is wasted, I think, with all the time we spend with if after we get to the ice and the story goes back to the beginning. After we Tarantino and we go back to the beginning.
Yes,
there is a lot of time set up with Victor and his father, with getting into older Victor after we get away from childhood Victor. We just kind of meander.
The time with Father Victor is all necessary because it explains why he himself is a bad paternal parent to the child that he brought into the world.
But you could cut that sequence down. Is what I'm saying. Is we didn't need after he gets hit once. Okay, fast forward. We don't need to see it again. We understand where he's getting. This is why he is the way that he
Can I
is.
ask a question?
Sure.
You just think this movie's too long?
But even if I did, then it can't be a Best Picture nominee.
Why?
Because it's not.
You don't get to make that decision anyway. It's already been made.
No, that's okay. That's a malarkey because it's already committed a big sin. I think
it's not.
It is.
You having a problem with a movie does not discount it from the fact that it is already nominated.
Well, fine.
Best Picture.
I don't disagree with you on that. I don't think this movie should have been nominated. That's what I'm saying.
That's fine. Again, though, we do not get to make that decision.
I understand that, but
I feel like you don't.
I know a little bit about the politics at play here, and again, Netflix had to have something that was not K-pop nominated for Best Picture, not just Best Animated, and this is what was nominated. I don't agree with it. The Academy obviously did. Yeah. I'm the one in the minority here, and I get that. But the movie I watched, I don't think was as good as people are hailing it to be.
That's interesting. Okay, I just find it interesting because the movie, in my opinion, it does everything that most people, want from a film. It sets up ground rules. It sets up your characters and shows you what they're capable of, and then it follows those rules for the entire movie. It gives you the backstory that people crave for their characters. It gives you proper setup for why people make the decisions they do. It does everything it needs to in the first act to explain why the decisions are made in the second and third acts, which I appreciated because there's reasons why both, and it's speaking to nature and nurture. It's speaking to the fact that this creature that was created was a blank slate when it came out.
No, and I understand how Frankenstein works. Yeah,
and because of the monster that the man was, it is showing you that even through that monster, that the actual monster in Frankenstein's monster ends up being this higher thinking, more compassionate creature than the person who's supposed to be the intelligent being within all of this.
Sure, and I understand that.
Yeah,
but this is. I again have a problem with seeing something in the beginning. It's like based on the novel. Like, okay, I know the novel, I know the story, I know what the story beats are. We didn't get those story beats. I understand this is like Victor. Victor is the monster, and Frankenstein isn't the monster in this version, which I understand, and that's somewhat of a fresh take. I'll give it that. My first argument is this movie is too long, and they could have. If I can recognize where they could have cut out 2 minutes here, 1 minute there, 30 seconds there. That's a problem. This movie could easily be cut out at least 10 minutes, if not 15, and you still get the same movie. That's, let's ask the person who always wants movies to be not so long.
Well, I mean,
did you really not think this movie's length? You thought it was perfect.
No, I didn't. But that doesn't mean it's not a great movie. And everything that you've said means in your mind for some reason, because you think you can cut 15 minutes out of this movie, that it, one, significantly makes it better, and two, discounts it from being a good movie.
Well, again, I watched it. If I'd have seen it before the nomination, I might have different thoughts.
Well, that's
But I saw it.
that's crazy to
But
me.
if
You
you're
let
saying
somebody else influence your take on this film?
yes and no, because I watched this after someone's like, no, that's one of the 10 best movies we made last year, and I watched. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's one of
It's
the
not.
8.
What's that?
Because there were 8 nominations.
Well, fine, but I mean, I also know where we are in history, and I know why it's nominated. Going from that, but I mean, it's
I mean, you keep on saying that, but this is a movie full of white actors.
no. But I also know that they'd have something nominated, and this is the best thing they made last year. So
Sure.
that's what I meant. I don't mean any kind of other statement. I'm just saying that they had to have something nominated, and this was nominated. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is,
Yeah,
to saying
yeah.
this will win nothing. It's
I-
not good enough to win anything.
I don't.
Does it have to win?
I'd be surprised
Like,
if it didn't win
Because
anything.
only one thing's going to win.
Well, okay,
'Cause
fine.
By your
let me take
logic,
the,
everything else
let me
is
just
discredited.
because no, I don't mean that either. But I'm like hair and makeup, set design, fine. But anything involving the story, which is best director, best picture,
Maybe
best adapted screenplay, sure,
Yeah.
those three it won't win.
Why?
It won't. Well, we'll fast forward 3 weeks and tell me
Well,
I'm right.
I don't disagree with him on that, because I mean, in the field, there are better adapted screenplays than this, I think. But like, it doesn't mean that this is a bad adapted screenplay.
No,
though.
it doesn't. But we're the forest of the trees here is I don't agree with this movie being nominated for Best Picture. I don't think I watched it and I'm like, you're telling me that is one of the best 10 movies we watched last year? I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I
Then-
cannot give you a list of the 10 before it.
You don't have to.
Before you ask,
Yeah,
which I knew you were thinking of.
Okay, so with all that, then it's one of those things where your mileage may vary as a viewer, obviously, but with what we got here, what are the standout things to you guys then about this movie as we watch? Because everybody knows the basic story of Frankenstein's monster.
Netflix doesn't. So
I mean,
I don't know. They
or
just
Guillermo doesn't.
they just made a movie that got nominated for Best Picture. I think they have a pretty good take on it.
Well, but it doesn't follow.
Just remember,
hold on.
Sure,
they
sure.
clearly do.
2026.
I definitely believe that this.
I don't know
movie-
what that means.
This follows the story of Frankenstein's monster pretty damn well.
It
You keep
follows
on
it.
saying that.
It follows it broadly, but not like to the beat, which is what I was expecting.
That's why it says based off.
Well,
not-
sure, and
not-
I understand that. I'm just saying when I know this existed, so we can move on from here.
Mhm.
When I knew this existed, and I knew Guillermo was behind it, I said, "Oh, there's the guy. He won't let me down. He won't let me down." And I feel like he let me down. I feel like the guy who I look at story being the most important thing in a film, which it always should. It should never, ever, ever, ever not be the most important thing in a film. I think the story is weak, and I think it has pacing issues out the wazoo, and I don't even think all the characters make any sense.
Okay.
And
Well,
that's just my take.
okay. I mean, it's interesting.
If someone, you guys are gamers, if someone hands you a game and said, this is one of the best 5 games last year, and you play and you're like, what? You wouldn't say, I don't think it is. You wouldn't say, it's fine. I don't think it's one of the best 5 last year.
I don't know. Baldur's Gate won everything in the year it came out, and I played Baldur's Gate. I'm a D&D fanatic, and I thought Baldur's Gate was just okay. You know, what
I
I mean?
agree.
So
I agree with you, but again,
but I can see how it got to the status it got to, though. I can see it, not enjoy it, but still say, yeah, that's probably the best game last year. I just didn't like it. Like, there's a difference there.
Yeah,
The,
me liking something and it being good or not mutually.
no, and
exclusive things.
we've made that distinction
Yeah.
many times in the show.
Speaking of liking things, though,
We should
like,
move on. We're 19 minutes into this.
speaking of liking things, what did you guys like about this movie? Like what are the what were the highs in this film for you guys? Like, if you had to pick 1 or 2 things.
Well, for me, it truly is, and this is going to go against everything Grace just said. I think this take on the story is a very good job. I think they do a
Okay.
good job with it.
Story.
I like the idea of having Frankenstein's monster being portrayed as more of a little kid that's learning and growing, which is, it's not an entirely new take
Yeah.
on things, but the way it develops, like the entire part where he's with the old man in the cabin, Like, I think that's great.
I think that's the best part of the movie.
Absolutely.
100%. That's the best.
Absolutely.
That is the best part of the
And,
movie.
you know, we find that, you know, there not only is there real intelligence there, there's compassion and caring. And, you know, when he decides to come back after everything that happens, when he comes back to find his creator, you know, he decides that he wants to experience love. And I think that's a great part of the story.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't honestly think that the story is anything that we haven't seen before. You know, it's not some super fresh take, but like, I like it. And you mentioned something earlier about the pacing, and I don't want to go back and rehash that again, but I think for as long as this movie is, I think it flows pretty well.
Yeah.
I think it goes, like, I love the chapter idea. I love that we start at the end basically and work backwards. Like, I like that.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
No, it's again,
You're a big Pulp Fiction guy, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I am the Tarantino guy, but it's like, it really lays the ground rules, and it makes it easier to skip through time that way.
Yeah.
You know, so we're not watching, because, like, here's a question I'll ask you guys is, what's the time frame we see from when Frankenstein gets created to when he meets Victor again on the ice? How long is that? Is it years? Is it weeks? Is it months?
I think it's a little over a year, because it's all within the wedding planning period, and he spends basically the winter in the farmhouse shed. So I think it's all about a year's worth of time, give or take. So, because he's also recovering from his injury still, he's bedridden, and he's getting out of that funk because he's been depressed after everything and stuff. That's when he's confronting the soon-to-be wife on our wedding day.
And the monster's hair grows really long.
The monster's hair does grow really, really long, which I don't know if they did that for like just like some poster photos, but
I think they probably like, hey, we have Jacob, we need to use Jacob a little bit.
Maybe, yeah.
His long Fabio hair.
Yeah. Also, the guy who plays Frankenstein,
Oscar Isaac.
No, that's Victor.
Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah. I meant the monster. That's my fault.
Jacob Elordi.
Yeah.
Handsome Jacob Elordi.
Dude, I think does a fantastic job. Like, I really like the way he played it, and even though the version of Frankenstein we get it's very patchworky and less fleshy almost. Like, he looks plastic in a way.
I got that vibe too.
He looks very Marvel to me, like Gamora. Again, I don't like that.
I mean, if you had to pick a character to compare it to, that character is in Marvel, yes. But it bothered me for like a second, but then as when he's walking in the crypt before he gets chained up, like all of a sudden the aesthetic in that moment, it grew on me. I was like, okay, I like this actually, because like the smoothness of him is kind of like the newness. Also, all the hair's gone because he was struck with lightning. It makes sense. There's a lot of things going on there too. That
I wonder how they did
design.
that. If it was like a suit or like mocap.
I think that's him.
Like just paint.
I think it. Yeah. I think so. I think it's some sort of
like some makeup prosthetic.
Yeah, it looks because when he leans back, you can see like it's like his ribs and his spine. Like you can see it all.
Well, I mean, you'll be able to see that too with mocap too.
Maybe. Dude is huge, by the way.
Oh no! I mean,
he's like 6'6".
The fact that Jacob Elordi has like 16 things on the upcoming, and he was that kid from Kissing Booth, is such an achievement to me.
Yeah,
Kissing Booth.
Yeah, it's like, but he's in Wuthering Heights with Margot Robbie. He's like, It's like, good Lord, man. He's got like 17 things up and coming. Look, good for him. I'm glad that he's
like after seeing this, I think he can do it. I think he does. I think he did a good job in this.
We'll see. Wuthering Heights will be the test for me anyway, because that's a better role
to be matched up with. What's the guy's name who plays Dr. Frankenstein? I can't remember.
Oscar Isaac.
To be with Oscar Isaac and not have every scene you're in completely stolen by him, I think that's a testament, because Oscar Isaac is also very good in this movie. I think he acts his ass off.
He's a very good actor.
He is. He's proven to be one of
no Christoph Waltz, but
he's proven to be really fucking good, in my opinion. So like the guy, he's playing this character who's haunted and is messed up in every degree. Like his
cursed is what I mean.
His classroom courtroom scene, whatever that is. Like he's so good.
Yeah, what's that hearing for, by the way?
I don't know what
He's
it was.
Getting out of medical school.
Something
is that what it is?
Well, again, that's like one of the. That's kind of. I'm surprised you like that sequence so much, because to me it was it was the script telling me that he's so much smarter than all these schmucks here and he should be here, but he's getting kicked out anyway. But why is he getting kicked out? Because like they keep chanting, like none of them like, oh my God, what he just did, no one's ever done. They're all saying, oh, it's an affront to God, and only God can give and take life.
Well, because medicine back then was very much rooted in religion.
I understand that, but again, it's like I can't believe one of those people that were in charge wouldn't have been like, hold on, this is medicine, and what he's doing is groundbreaking. We need to embrace this. Again, it's like it doesn't. I'm not quite sure it makes sense in that direct. I'm not quite sure he makes sense as what he wants, and he's unable to see what Frankenstein's monster, what his monster he created. He's unable to see past the one word of Frankenstein. He's like, oh, yeah, he only has one word, and I'm going to kill him, and I failed. Like, well, obviously he didn't fail. We can see that. Anyone can see that. But he, as smart as he is, can't see that.
Well, can I ask you guys a question? Like, and I mean this seriously. If you were, so his idea to create life where there was none, right? And then he had no real idea what to do afterwards, I think is hilarious. Because like he's obviously disappointed that the creature can't speak more than one word after what, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, however long that is. But like, what was your game plan for it if it couldn't do anything?
Because the game wasn't for what he got.
I know, like he the only ends and means was like to see if I can make this happen. Oh shit, this happened. Now what do I do?
Well, the same thing is the reason why Grayson had the problem at the beginning, but for some reason thinks that the beginning wasn't necessary. His goal wasn't the monster that he got.
Mhm.
His goal was true resurrection.
No,
Yeah.
and I just look. I mean, I can't tell you a specific scene. I think most of the scenes in the first half of the film were too long. Where the movie actually starts to really pick up for me was exactly what you said: the farmhouse with the old man.
Sure.
With
What's the better part of the movie?
and when he's able to approach a deer and like the gentleness of what we think is that
Who shoots a deer in the face?
It was a bad shot, you know what I mean? But it is what it is.
It's
Yeah.
and then
That's just rude,
and then
sir.
the little field mice and the family that lives in a place that doesn't check the barn with the gears. Again, it's like that's the best stuff. Then it comes to I mean, the fact that those hunters, and I know we're skipping ahead here, but the fact that those hunters walk in, see a bunch of dead deer, and assume that guy killed him is like
The dead wolves.
Dead
you mean.
wolves, yeah.
sorry, the dead
He
wolves.
scalped that wolf. I've never
Oh,
seen
yeah.
that before.
Is wild to me,
And he
and
wears his belt.
is the old man dies in the sequence where as soon as he takes the hands off of the monster's face, he dies. Right, that's what
Yeah.
he doesn't say anything to the people that come.
No,
He's dead, and again, it's like I understand it, but again, it's in a movie that's nominated. There shouldn't be this disconnect. Is what I'm saying. It's like I have a hard time with this because the disconnect for me with the hunters would have looked around. They didn't see all the dead wolves. And like, oh, maybe we should ask a question first. It's like that's just one of the red flags to me. It's like one of the many in that sequence. I know that might sound silly, but it just when you're crafting a movie like this, the questions need to be asked.
I mean, you see a monster. Also,
Well,
maybe,
I
They've
mean-
already shot at him already.
yeah,
too.
and maybe they thought that he brought the wolves with him.
Sure, okay, fair,
Yeah.
but I mean, the movie doesn't tell us that. So
Yeah, but again, the movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes, and you want it to be shorter, so they can't take time to tell you that.
no, and I agree 100%. It needs to be shorter. It's a
Also
lot of
shoot him
the
in the neck.
it's a lot of the setup with the Oscar Isaac stuff and the brother and the wife, and again, the brother is so. These characters are so bright in the world, but they can't see what's right in front of them. And I know for Victor Frankenstein, that's part of what we are supposed to know from him. But
Yeah.
the brother, not seeing that with his fiance and who's going to, I mean, if there was a sequel, would become the bride of Frankenstein, of course. But
Yeah.
it's which we're getting in March, which is going to stomp the snot out of this. But the storytelling elements to me, they rang false. And I'm just saying that's my point of view. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
As much of the story here was rang false, and that's if the movie story doesn't come through as true, your movie can only be so good because the basic element failed. And that's just that's just me. That's just me.
Well, I agree with you on the pacing though, because like I thought this two and a half hour movie felt like an hour and 50 minutes. I think it flew by. I didn't have a problem with the runtime. It didn't feel like a drug. I actually, because of the way it's paced in sections, so it tricks your brain into kind of like resetting time, like the internal clock that like that you feel. And so this movie felt much shorter than what the runtime actually speaks to me. So I enjoyed that. I actually my least favorite section of the movie is your guys' favorite.
Okay.
I understand the purpose of that scene, of that whole section of film, and it's good. But like my favorite parts are when I like knowing the madness of Dr. Frankenstein and what makes him want to do this, and then watching him, depressingly fail at the exact thing that is a brilliant and this huge breakthrough, but he can't see past the failure of it's not the thing that he wanted it to be, and in so brings down is the ultimate demise of him and his entire bloodline, essentially, which is it's such a tragic way for this character to be tunnel visioned on perfection, because his father was tunnel visioned on perfection, and he wanted to desperately not be his father, and he ended up being the same exact person in the
Same
end.
person.
Yeah, and it literally kills everyone he cares about, everyone he thinks he would want to care about, and then even stymies the entire thing that he set out to do and succeeded in finally, and then in the end it just doesn't come to be.
I totally understand that. The ending also when I'm like, after we've Tarantino'd back and we get back on the ship,
Yeah.
that ending is that I was like, are you kidding me with this? I sat.
What did you want it to be? Did you want Frankenstein to just take his head off?
I didn't
and
want
then wear it?
no. I didn't want the soliloquies. I didn't want I didn't want the understanding. I didn't want the soliloquies. The movie hadn't earned it. The movie hadn't set that up. I don't look, again, my personal opinion, I don't think the movie set that up well. I think it set up enough for the monster to understand. I don't think it set up enough for Frankenstein to reciprocate. Victor to reciprocate that, and they both did. And then when he got off, and then when he started to leave, I'm like, if he pushes this boat, I'm done. I am done. And he pushed the boat.
What's wrong?
Well, good.
What,
You could be done. That was the end of the movie.
what's wrong with the bush boat?
Because it seemed
the boat push.
It seemed so inauthentic. It seems so silly for the monster to do.
It's what he did for the people in the shed.
I'm aware of what he did for the people in the shed, but I don't know. I was like, please don't.
It's showing the compassion. It's showing the compassion that he learned wasn't lost. I know what it's showing. At the end of his rage.
But like the compassion he learned wasn't lost when he didn't kill Victor.
No, that was different. That was forgiveness.
Well, sure, but it's all in that same package of like, I've learned now. I'm gonna walk away from this, and to just in the end when he's just looking at the sunset, like.
Also, where's he going?
Well, the sunset is about rebirth.
Look, I'm aware, Chris. I understand. It's
also
all
sunrise, by the way.
It's all in the novel too, but it's. We also didn't get the iconic "It's alive" and like
wouldn't that be campy? Wouldn't that be too much?
It depends on it. If no, that's one of the most iconic things of the Frankenstein.
It wasn't it to him until it wasn't what he wanted it to be.
Sure, but again, it's one of the. It just. I feel like I'm being attacked.
No,
there are things missing from this movie that I would have thought, without a doubt, that we would have gotten. It's like we got everything in the Peter Jackson King Kong movie that he had been thinking about since he was 8. We got everything.
Yeah.
It just didn't measure up to what I guess the Academy wanted. And this, Guillermo is the same thing, but to not include some of the very iconic stuff from the novel and from the film, from the original movie by James Whale, I think he directed it. That to me is a big glaring mistake.
Yeah, but we just got done talking about Dracula, and where like you can't just do the same thing that's been done before. You have to do something to set yours apart, right? You have to do something a little bit different, otherwise you're just doing the same thing.
Sure. But in a Spider-Man movie, even if you don't show it, you have to reference that Uncle Ben is dead, because that's what made Peter Peter.
Okay, but I don't think that your Uncle Ben moment is missing in this movie. Like the Uncle Ben moment is the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, maybe that was wrong, but we might have a point there.
It's not equal in what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I don't know what's missing here. I would have really preferred more with. I would have really preferred more with the girl understanding the monster, with the fiance kind of that bridge in between Victor and the girl is like. Because the brother doesn't know, and the brother's kind of a dim bulb, doesn't know what to do. Yeah. He was the coddled one. He doesn't need to know what to do. It's always kind of been done.
Also, did you guys recognize him?
No.
Did you recognize him?
No, I didn't. But he looked
Paul
familiar.
from All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense now. The
Felix Kammerer.
So like, and is this linked to the bride at all, or is this
No.
he's just completely different? He's just
No, I have my theories on that. I think because this has existed for a while. This movie has existed for a while, and I think when someone's like, I want to do a Bride of Frankenstein movie, they had a script, and then Maggie Gyllenhaal, I think, is directing that. She's like, Netflix, teeing me up, baby. I'm just gonna hit a fucking slam it out there. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. Is she's gonna piggyback off of this movie, and just the movie's just gonna be, because a lot of the things you're gonna want out of this one, I want out of this one, will be in Bride. I have a feeling.
but what if Bride is leaning on being more of an artsy and more of a?
Well, I'm not saying. I mean,
direct,
it's going to be more of what I want out of this. More faithful to the original source material.
Okay,
we'll talk about the Bride in a few weeks. I mean, that's like early March, so
yeah,
we're almost there.
Yeah, it's soon for us.
So we'll see. But we're gonna.
Is there anything else you guys want to highlight from this film that you guys liked or wanted to take away from it?
I mean, I think it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I'm happy to see it getting some accolades. I wouldn't be surprised if it wins something.
Yeah.
I also don't like being spoon-fed, which is when the brother falls, for example, and he hits his head, and as he's dying, he's probably not gonna survive that.
Yeah.
And then he looks at his brother, and he's like, "You're the monster." It's like, well, we figured that out already. Movies about good filmmakers about being subtle, showing, not telling, and it just seems to me like they couldn't resist, or they thought we'd be too dumb to figure it out, and I have a problem with that.
Well, so there's two things there that I'll speak on. Netflix literally has rules where people have to, or like their movie creators have to remind the audience or tell the audience things, spoon feed them. That's an actually Netflix thing, so that is a problem that they need to rectify. I agree with you on that if that's the case. But also, I think the script, while we know it as the audience, someone had to tell Victor that. Someone had to say the words to Victor, because it's like it's his moment to realize he's the monster.
He's a bad
But
person.
it's something that he should realize, not be told.
His ego might not let him, though. You know what I mean? The same thing. The same ego stopped him from seeing the thing that he did as this great thing instead of it was just a failure. So I think that's why the brother said, that's what I thought when it was happening. Because like I'm like you, I don't need that to be said. I get it, you know what I mean. I understand the undertones of the movie that it's trying to tell, but I think it was a purposeful thing for Victor to hear, not for the audience to hear. Even though Netflix is known for that crap, because it's like someone went the recent interview with Matt Damon and what's the other guy that's always Affleck? They talked on Joe Rogan, and they basically laid out all the things that they have to do for Netflix, and that's one of them is spoon feeding the audience at multiple interviews within their Netflix.
That just means Netflix think we're all dumb.
Netflix,
you pay
Netflix knows its average audience.
You pay $28 a month for it. They know we're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And they deliver slop. It's just The Bride will be an example of my Netflix analogy all the time. Is like you have a Netflix movie, then you have The Bride, which is awesome.
Unfortunately, I think I'll disagree with you then too, because I think this movie, for someone like me, this thing hits on all the things I love about movies that have just these very sad outcomes for characters.
Tragic, I think.
Yeah, there's just a daunting failure that follows this guy after a certain point, and like he's just doomed to fail, and he does in glorious fashion every step of the way. And I knew he was going to. I saw the opening scene. You know what I mean? Obviously, the monster's pissed. You know what I mean? So and there were some really good lines in this too. This is the last thing I say because I know we want to wrap up. But like the line that the monster says to him when he says then you'll have my rage and it is infinite. Like that line is cold as hell.
Oh yeah, brother.
So good. Like I love that line.
When he has Victor up against a wall in the cave, he says something really, I forget what it is, but he says something really great there too.
Oh yeah. He says you seem to only listen when I cause you pain, and he breaks his nose, which
he
also
pushes his nose like fucking smashing a
The other
tennis
way.
ball.
Yeah.
He's like,
So to
"Oh,
the side. And
God."
then when he has the dynamite and he says this is what you put your faith in. He says then light it, and then he looks at him and says now run. And I'm like, oh, that's
If
awesome.
it doesn't work, I'm coming after
he
you
does,
again.
and this speaks to the actor. He has so much. He does so much with range in this movie that it impressed me. Like I didn't.
He is nominated for supporting.
I didn't give it.
He has all the best lines in the movie. The monster has all the best lines.
He has the most poignant lines, right? But again, I think it's showing because he, like
and
what
I
he
think
is.
and I think the girl, she has
She has good ones too. Yeah, she
the
has good lines
fiance has
too.
it,
Yeah.
especially when they're in the stairwell and she's
Mhm.
like trying to tell him, like, when he's like, all he knows is one word, and she's like, well, that's what matters to him right
Yeah,
now is
yeah.
you is.
Mhm.
So I understand the fact that he couldn't see something, but
Yeah.
again, I think someone as smart as him, I think as they presented Victor Frankenstein in this movie, he would have figured it out, and I was waiting for him to figure it out. But then as the movie was going on, I was like, this can't happen because they're setting him up to be the real monster and our monster to be the gentle one. What they're setting up. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, Frankenstein's monster has always been a tragic story.
of
You know what I
course,
mean?
from the get go.
No, I think that falls in the realms of acceptability for someone's take on the whole shtick. So I don't know. I enjoyed this one. I think my favorite things of it are the visual, like the visual spectacle it gives, for being something that we'll never know the actual budget ratio for, like comparatively. I would be interested to know because this all feels like Del Toro's direction, and it looks. I think it looks good, and it fits the feel and the setting they're going for so well. It's so drab and disgusting and dank looking, and I love every bit of that.
It does just feel sad.
Just the dark gothica feel that's just so good. Like that castle's awesome.
Gemini Jim says 120 million.
That's lower than I thought it'd
Yeah,
be. Honestly,
I thought it'd be like
Netflix.
like 150. I would have said around that.
Yeah,
around
but
that.
I mean, they did a lot then with that budget because I think a lot of this looks really good.
Good.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I do, but I guess I expected more from this, and I don't know why. It's not. I don't have a blind rage for Netflix. I just, when someone's like, "You're going to watch an excellent movie," and I watch it, I'm just like, I just didn't see it, man. It just doesn't.
That's also okay.
It's subjective.
Sure,
Yeah.
and I get that.
That's true. Yeah,
and I get that. It's just
that's true.
when I watched it, I was asking myself questions, and I saw the major plot holes you could drive a truck through, and I saw like the assumptive language and the assumptive, like the motivation that was assumptive instead of. See, I don't like where they set up with the castle and everything. 'Cause it was just like it was like on the back of a cliff,
Mhm.
and it was like a seaside retreat that was meant to be like a gothic. I don't want to say fort, but like a gothic mansion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure like that. When I picture Frankenstein, I don't picture that because I picture a place where the townspeople have to come and invade because that's how the story goes. So I just, again, it rang kind of false to me. And Netflix wants to make it different, and I get that. How different can you make it though?
I mean, I don't think that, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that detail matters though. Like,
Well,
like,
fine.
like what you just laid out there. Like, I don't know how much that changes the story that we see on screen because of like where it is and what it means for like the invasion of the town folks. If they made a number 2 of this, they could just be in whatever castle he takes over next.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be the original.
It could be 2010 Japan.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. All right.
Well, final thoughts then. Have we already done that?
I mean, I feel like we kind of rounded it up. I mean, my final thoughts is I like this. I think that if you have a Netflix subscription, there's no and like this kind of movie is your jam. There's no reason not to turn this on if you have Netflix. Don't subscribe to Netflix for this movie. I don't think it's that good, but it's definitely worth turning on if you're into any of like any horror, anything that is monster movie-esque, or you like Frankenstein thing or any adjacent. Turn this thing on. It's got great acting in it, and it's got some cool shit in it that you'll see. So I think that's where I'd end up.
I think it is one of the better things that Netflix did last year. I think there's a lot to like here. There's the cast is great. Mia Goth, Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi just surprises me every time I see him. It's got a great cast. I think the script could use a little work. I think they could have edited this down, but otherwise, I think it's a strong movie. I just don't think it's Best Picture nominee. I also did Google to make sure I was right. Is in the original novel, the townspeople do not invade a castle. However, in the 1931 film, I knew I was thinking about a windmill from something. The villagers surround and burn down a windmill where the monster is trapped. Yes. I knew I was thinking of why am I thinking of that? But yeah. So it's been a while since I've read the novel, but
Yeah, I got you.
From my perspective, like I think this movie's pretty good. I enjoyed watching it. Thought it was pretty well made. I'd be surprised if it gets any real acclaim throughout the awards.
Yeah, I'll be too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But like, this is where I think Netflix should be. We know that you can do it. Let's see more of it.
Yeah,
there's no reason that they can't.
That's
That's
right.
why, like they're the closest thing to the old studio system that we have right now.
they'd rather pay $7 million total for their staffing, and then pay something for a couple of big actors, and then be done with it, than pay what this thing costs every time.
Well, sure, but
I think that's what it is, and they'd rather put out. I mean, we all know the deal. They want to put out quantity, or
not anymore.
yeah,
Not
well,
anymore.
okay, sure, I'll believe it when I see
Well,
that.
they admitted it though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is
They've always been a quantity game, and because of that, they keep it cheap, which means your talent pool's probably a little bit tighter or broader in a bad way.
well, they're the
maybe.
closest thing we have to an old studio system, and the fact that like they could have 10 or 12 directors, just rotate. They could have 10 or 12 grip departments, accounting departments that just go from movie to movie to movie to movie. They could do that, but they're not, and I don't know why. Because directors in those days, they used to make 3 or 4 movies in a year. They used to cramp, but like movies also have gotten way more complicated. I get that, but Netflix is the closest thing we have to the old studio system, and it'd be really cool if they could somehow pull that off. But well, thank you guys for joining me for this somewhat fiery episode.
Let us know what you think.
Yes,
Dear
please
listener,
do this.
leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you liked Frankenstein, if you didn't like it, if you think it should be up for nominees, for if you think it should win the awards it's up for, please leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please do. If one person leaves a comment,
Oh, don't do it.
I will during Oscar week.
Oh,
I will personally buy the pizza. We watched.
oh yeah, no, do that. Make him pay for our pizza. That's cool.
But if I see either one of you guys comment,
I pin comments every.
You know,
oh
I'm the
Lord.
one who handles the social media side, so
All right.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you. That does it for us on this episode on Post Credits Podcast, where we are lucky to talk about movies with you. If you listen to this episode on an audio-only service, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Podbean, feel free to head over to YouTube. Check us out there. Everything is time-coded out. You can click around, watch what you want, don't watch what you don't, whatever you want to do. Like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week for another theatrical released film.
Peace.